one.
Right. So back to the message here. Moreover, at Purdue University, we believe that hockey is more than just a sport. It's a platform for personal growth, lifelong friendships, and unforgettable memories. Our players not only excel on the ice, but also develop valuable life skills such as teamwork, leadership, and perseverance that will serve them well in all aspects of their lives. While the allure of semi professional hockey may be enticing, it is essential to consider the financial realities of pursuing a career in sports. The financial stability and long term prospects offered by a quality education cannot be overstated, especially when compared to the uncertainties of a semi professional hockey career where earnings are limited. So, those two pieces I think were the biggest ones that resonated with me because that was kind of me. So, when he said at the start there, hockey is more than just a sport. It's a platform for personal growth. That's truly now. I didn't think this at the time, but that's truly now how I think about it. And even with, I've been meeting with so many parents over the last month about this academy thing now, and this is kind of the purpose behind the academy of what we're doing. Is I finish every one of these meetings saying this. It's like I was 100% sure that I was going to be an NHL player, if not a pro player, where that was my career. I was 100% sure of that. Only to realize that that'd be a long, tough road to get there from the point that I was at when I finished playing junior. And I was fortunate where I didn't even do this on purpose, but I was paying attention to the lessons of hockey along the way. And that was partially because of my parents. I was fortunate to have good parents. And I was fortunate to have paid attention to whatever degree I was responsible for doing that. But I picked up on those and I figured out how to apply those to my academic career after that. And I could have gone on to do whatever I wanted to do in engineering if I wanted to do that. I decided to not do that. But that was only because I paid attention to all of these things that Mike was laying out here, you know? So go ahead.
Yeah. So I was thinking when you pulled that out, I think this is very important. Is that he said that hockey could be used for other things, and I agree. But you have to be alive and you have to be awake to get that message. So I always say that to people. It's like if you play for the Kitchener Rangers and you're there for 4 years, or if you play for Cornell, Big Red, or whatever team that you're with, junior, whatever, and you're there for like, especially if you're a 3, 4, 5 year guy. If you come out of there and you don't know anyone, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. So that I don't think that statement applies to the idiot. And I know I don't mean it like that. I do though. But like, yes, like so we could say this with if you play your youth hockey, it's about leadership, right? People say you learn how to be a leader, you learn how to be a team player. Not really. Not actually really. For the people that have parents that guide those kids and teach them lessons every single day, then they learn about leadership. Then they learn about adversity. Then they learn about team. But if you go and you just play and then at the end of it say, well, because a lot of people say that around here, yeah, well, I'm going to be a fireman or a cop because it's teamwork, right? And but they played hockey, but they don't even understand the concept of a team outside of I grew up in a dressing room. Well, so who cares? That could be like pretty detrimental for the rest of your life if you just say grew up in a dressing room. I know how teams work. Yeah, that side. But do you know how a team functions? Do you know how to make a team better? Do you know how to be a guy that when the jackass guy refuses to clean up, instead of saying nothing or going about it the wrong way, maybe showing the message that even though I'm an older guy, I'll pick it up and just, clean that up, bud? Like sending messages the right way to be a team guy. And it's the same thing with leadership. Boy, I played hockey, leadership. I'm like, I know most hockey players that I know are not leaders in life, right? The ones that paid attention are. The ones that had mom and dad and the surrounding people that taught them what leadership was, they're leaders. And you can see when they're in a group outside of their environment of hockey that they can lead and they could be a team player there or personal there. So to say, and I'm not saying anything negative about that what the statement that this person said is very true. That it's more than just hockey. Everything's more than just hockey. And hockey is a great vehicle to expand everything in your life, your networking field. But right, so if you play for Kitchener Rangers for 5 years and you haven't met another person, you're an idiot. That's what I mean by that. Because you should be able, like, they put you out in the community. You should be able to shake some hands. Out of the 300 people you meet in a year that are like, whether it's in volunteer work, whether it's at a car dealership or wherever you do your public speaking, your public public what appearances. If you are smart enough to ask a question, be interested in someone's life, that because you have some sort of small celebrity status in that field goes a heck of a long way, and that could be a just a career launcher for you if you do it right. So that's what I would say, and this is why I always think it's important. And it's not anybody's duty as a coach, but to make you a better coach, it's teaching those lessons all the time, right? When we go to a restaurant, it's thank you, and it's super polite, super nice. Help the person put the dishes together to make their life easier, so that you become a better person. And I think as parents, when you teach, and this is what I always, like, I'm not Superman, that's for sure, but when we're talking about building a leader and building a player and all the things that we talk about, where does it come from, right? Where does it come from? So we can put statements like, you'll become a leader, you're a team player. We can do all that stuff. It's just words like what you said at the beginning of the thing. It's cliches. It's a bunch of shit. We talk about it. Should be on the I should be a fireman. I don't know why they didn't hire me. I was a hockey player. The hell does that have to do? You ever carry a wrench? Right? It doesn't mean anything unless it's applied. That's where your leadership in the household you come from, the people you surround yourself with, help you become all those things that hockey affords you to be, if you choose to be that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that his the way he worded this, exactly that. It's like, it's a platform. Hockey is a platform. It provides you with the opportunity if you take it. You have to take the opportunity. You have to actually notice the lesson that's there. If you're fortunate to have someone who's showing you that here's the lesson right now, then that's great. But if you don't have that, you still have to notice it. Like, two that came to mind for me is with our guys. One I always talk about with them is swearing, because I swear, and swearing doesn't particularly bother me to a limit. And it also bothers me more in certain environments than others. So what I say with our guys, with my U18s and with my younger kids too, because they swear. And this is the thing, like, with even with the younger kids, do you think they don't swear? Like, they're swearing when they're with their buddies. So rather than say there's no swearing, stop that, never, I say you guys can talk however you like, but know that sometimes there's people around. Sometimes there's people that could give you opportunities that can hear what you're saying. Do you want them to think less of you, or think you're an idiot, or think you're a trash mouth because you don't know how to conduct yourself in front of other people? So that's the lesson there. So I say, you swear, you can talk however you want, but you need to know that there's an environment where that won't cost you, and there's an environment where it will cost you, and they need to learn that lesson. And that's one example that just came to mind. The other one for me is when we leave rinks, I always make sure, one of my policy rules is, there's no garbage left in the dressing room. You pick your shit up and you throw it out. And I've had this several times where I've made last person out send me a picture of the dressing room when they leave. So I'm on the bus and I'll get a picture, or the hotel, if we're eating in the hotel lobby, they have to clean up. I want a picture of the lobby when you guys are done, and they do it. And now, wow,
And they might do it and hate it and say this is stupid,
yes,
but it's done, and you don't look like a jackass,
right.
and neither do they.
And then the hotel staff say, "Wow, what a great group
Yep,
of kids."
100%.
And I've had compliments from parents and from different people about this group of kids, the older group in particular, that they're just great kids, very polite and all this. And I'm not taking full credit for that, because they were doing this long before I had them. But those are things that they've picked up on, and good for them. Like, kudos to them for picking up on those lessons and not being a bunch of goofs, you know. And that's just one piece of uh, type of opportunity you can get in terms of learning lessons from the sport, you know. And I think the networking piece, or meeting people, shaking hands, like you're saying, is huge. And that was something that I never took seriously, because if I had a coach in junior that would have said, "Hey, we're going to this event. This guy that is running it is the fire chief, and he probably will be for the next 15 years. So if any of you have ever thought of being a firefighter, this might be a good guy to say hi to, talk to a little bit, maybe ask him a question about what he does if you're interested in that." Nobody ever told me that. No one ever said that to me. And so you could get those extra things if you're smart enough, observant enough, whatever the term is, to notice that it's passing you by through hockey. There's the vehicle again,
Yeah. Well, we
So
are talking with my kid about, there's a couple people. One's his billet's dad, really smart with money, engineer too, and went through some stuff with Charlie. I said, that's fantastic, man. Like, he explained a lot of stuff. And I said, that's why you have to kind of keep your eyes and ears open and ask questions. And that's what he did, right? So, Brett was telling him all kinds of stuff. And then there's another billet that's good friends, like he knows very well. And I said, if you have questions about money or something, ask Glenn. So he's like, yeah, what does he do? I said, ask him. Right? He's a venture capitalist. What's a venture capitalist? Well, that means I give money to invest. I invest money into companies to make a lot of money. That's interesting, right? And even if it goes nowhere, it doesn't go anywhere. Still, you got to. What's a venture capitalist? Well, I'd like to do that, or maybe I wouldn't. I wouldn't give my money away to someone else to make money. Like, but you get aware of things, right? But at the end of the day, but this is my point, right? Another point is that you've got a guy that's a venture capitalist, and let's just say that you made all kinds of money as a hockey player, that it all worked out, and you went and back to the town that you went to play junior or college hockey with, and you said, hey, you know what, I've got like $10 million here saved up. What do I do with it? This guy actually knows what to do, and he might make you $100 million out of it. But if you've never had the conversation, why would you answer your call?
exactly.